Hello everyone. I am making a leaflet for my aunt who passed away. She was my godmother and I was always very close with her, and when she passed away I decided to make a leaflet. I made a leaflet for my dad when he passed away as well, and I want to show you how I'm using or how I'm making this leaflet. These are all electronically compiled pages, a little bit like scrapbooking but electronically. I think there's such a thing. I've never been into it much, but for this purpose I have used it. And what I did was I compiled all the photos from major eras or steps in her life. She was 93, and compiled them, baby photo and so on, until older age, and from these old ones when I was not around yet. Obviously didn't take those, but all the other ones I did take, except this one. This was in the 80s when she had a passport picture taken. So here we have the printed paper, which is A3 size, oversize, and the white edge has been cut off. So this is A3 size now, and I made some marks here that you don't really need because it's going to be folded before it's been cut, and this is what I wanted to show you here. So the first fold is right in the middle lengthways. You have to be exact and get the corners 100% right, and then use a bone folder to fold the creases. Then it can be unfolded and folded lengthways, sideways or vertically. Unfold it again, and then it can be folded again. So again vertically, and once again vertically, also towards the middle. So the 4 different blocks of pages that are being created with this zine are being folded in the middle, so it's a nice crease that allows the paper to fold into place right away once the cut has been made. And so the cut goes from the middle of one set of pages to the middle of the other set of pages right there. I made some marks, as I said, but they're not absolutely necessary because you can see where the folds are. Right. Then you pick up both edges and fold it in the middle like so, and you see as you push it together it opens up in the middle, and there you have the zine. So I start with this page usually, I start with this page to start folding it, and then just reinforce the crease. Then the next page, line it up really well. Should I zoom in? So this is lined up really well. This needs to line up really well. And folded. I usually fold it a little bit here. Then the next page, which is the first page, and here you have to make sure that this is absolutely flush, so you don't have a lot of white showing, even if the leaflet is open a little bit. So, you know, here goes. Should be absolutely flush, and crease it again. And if you have creased it before and it wasn't 100%, then you can always go over it with the bone folder, and especially with this silicone bone folder, as it doesn't harm the paper in any way. It just glides over the paper, and then you fold over the middle creases so that they are very nicely flush and flat. This paper is really good. It's a 100-gram paper, but it seems thinner than the 80 grams paper we have at work. So then what I did, or what I do, is I fold it over here, but very loosely, and then I go in here and reinforce the crease here a little bit, and you can do it with a bone folder as well, and then gently push against this edge with the bone folder, and slowly move it over so it allows the paper to be snug right there. So it's now a round crease, which I'm going to flatten with my bone folder, and then this edge, sorry, I moved it out of the way, out of the picture. This here is still round-ish, and as I said before, I did not allow for any additional length on this edge, because it's just a minute fraction longer, has to be slightly longer than the middle pages, because the middle pages are, as you can see here, they are in, I hope you can see this, the middle pages are just a fraction, have to be a fraction shorter than the outside. So this is the first page now, it's overlapping slightly, so we have a nice edge. Sorry if my camera doesn't focus. And then I'm going to crease this side by going over it with my bone folder and pushing to the edge, and it does fold in. This camera and the focus is so annoying. It does fold in so that there's a the fold is slightly off. It comes over from that side, but the colors match in a way, and since this is the distressed background anyway, I think it doesn't really matter at all, so it still looks good, I think anyway. So there we have it. That's the fold. Zoom out again. That's the fold, and it can remain like this. You can go through the pages even though they're not glued, but they are so stiff together that they stay together, and you don't really have to glue them or do anything with it. Some of these pages are closed like these, and some are open like this. So closed, open, closed, open. But I wanted to make it perfect, and so I did punch holes in here for thread binding, and I used the I used the 1/16 crocodile or Memory Keepers crocodile, and punched a hole once from this side right in there, and one from this side, and this allows me to put in the thread without any problems. So I use the bookbinding thread, which is linen thread, and just fit it through with the thread as it is, and it's very stiff, so it's absolutely perfect to use as it is, and the length is about that much longer, so go around the edge here, the bottom, and feed it through again. There you are. Tighten it in the middle, and then feed it through again at the top. And then I tied them up just towards the back a little bit more. I tied them up, so then I just tied the strings up towards the back. My goodness. And even the knot holds up, but of course I'm going to double the knot. Come on, little thread. So it's very tight, and then snip it off. And all that remains to be done now is to add the thread, and not the thread, the ribbon. This one's quite short actually. So the ribbon is fixed, and now I need some felt wings to add to the ribbon. And secure them. And go through the stitch one more time to secure the thread. If it's not 100%, I didn't make a good example of this because I made it too short actually, but this is how it works basically. Then I have another end that I can put some beads on, and I will do that in just a sec. So grab the end, I did use a picking tool at first to pick up the beads when the tins were quite full. As it made life a little easier so that the beads didn't all jump out of the box or the little tub. But in the end it's quicker to just grab the beads with your fingers and thread them on. Well, I find that anyway. So then I usually did the other one with the purple bead. It's not much, but it does add a lot to the overall look and feel of the little booklet. And so on these I used her favorite jewelry colors, and gold, pearl, and also she had some diamonds, and yeah, so I used a clear sparkly one for that. So there we have it. That's that. It's done. These beads are from Knorr-Pandel. I think it's a German company. And there we have the booklet, or zine, in its full glory. Of course you could do other things, embellish with some gold stickers or paint, but I needed to get nearly 60 done in a short space of time, so obviously there was no time for painting and such. But I think it's turned out very nice, very nicely. This is the end of the production line. I have made 55 of these leaflets, and my son helped me punch out the angel wings. Here's the rest of the material to prove. There's lots and lots. So 55 times 2. That's a lot of winding through the Sussex. We used the Big Shot for this, and the dies are from Alexandra Renke. And the ribbon is from Knorr Prandtl. It's chiffon ribbon. So I used the pink, which I had bought, and it ran out. So I thought I had enough, but I had enough for about 50 leaflets, and then the rest of them have to be in a peach color. So it's not 100% matching, but it works. That color is also in there somewhere around here. Yeah, and I just made a simple stitch through the back of this twice, one forward and one reverse to fasten this, as I think this will be enough, it won't slide off, and picked up the pearls with the thread, because it's a bookbinding thread that's very stiff, and made a knot at the end. That was it. Simple, but time consuming nevertheless, and yeah, it took me a while, but I did manage in the end to get it done for the Remembrance Service. So I'll just explain briefly. This is all about my aunt. Her name was Hannelore, and that's my middle name. She was my godmother. She was 93, born in October, same as me, a few days later, and born in Celle. So I have included the crest here. And let me zoom out a little bit. To show you the details. So this is the crest of the town she was born, the town I grew up in, Celle. I used an old one that was on one of her school passes. So this is original. There's obviously a color version to it, but I didn't use that. So, and then starting with the first page, we have different years of her growing up. Those are photos I scanned in and cropped. These are not the original size, except for this one. And they show various years. As you can see, I incorporated a lace that was kind of 20s style, I thought. And the background is a paper by Prima. Let me just get the paper. The paper pad Midnight Garden that I just ordered. It's a new release, and the paper inside that I used is this one. I used the reverse side as the background, and the second page, second inside page, I used this paper as a background for her photo. That's right there. So, the color is a little different because I adjusted it with an overlay. Yeah, and this is actually the school pass that I used the crest of. Then on to the next page. This is all about love. This was as she was known. Well, first of all, this was in '55 when she got married to Erich, her lifelong love. They were married until he passed away in the early 90s, and it was a very happy marriage, and I used to be with them a lot, and so I know they were always loving and caring for each other, very humorous. And so I included some images that I got off online to do with Valentine, basically. I cannot name the sources right now, but I will link them below if I can find them again. Yes, also included some small doily images, also this one here, and forget-me-nots. Roses were her favorite flowers, as you can see here from the background and also here, but forget-me-nots, they go with roses very well, and she was very meticulous in keeping up with people and their birthdays, always sending letters out or to congratulate people on their birthdays or call them. We spent hours on hours on hours on the phone. Even when I was in England, she used to call me, and if not, we wrote letters back and forth. So I have included two pictures with different people. These are her most loved people, as far as I know, apart from her husband, and those are her brothers, and apart from her mother, obviously. And these are her brothers, and this one is my father. So, and then I have included a later one that was the wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary of my parents, and there's a picture of me and my sister together with her that my son took. This older picture is from the time when she was working. She was very active in her job, which was at that point at the registry office in the federal court, not federal court, in the local court. Yeah, so this is how everybody knew her. And then on the last page I included a picture that I took on her 89th birthday, and same backdrop as I explained before by Prima, and this is a stamp of a doily lace that I inverted, and I thought it went very well with the picture. So originally I was going to include these details on that side, on that page, but it didn't work out, so I wish I had turned around this background so the stem would not be here, but I didn't think of it until it was all printed. And these are the songs we chose, and this particular one, the second one, is one that she had requested to be played at her funeral, and first one was suggested by our speaker. She didn't have a church service, so we chose someone who would hold the commemorative speech. And the third one is a very popular lullaby that they used to sing a lot in the area she grew up in, and it's very common also in other countries. Good evening, good night. Not sure what it's called in English right now. And the last one is a song from the 50s or early 60s that is by a chansonnière, if there is such a word, a lady who sang chansons in a, well, she was seemed very much like my aunt, even though it was not apparent at first sight, but she was very independent, but also frail inside. And she came out with this song, which was a huge hit, and Red Roses are my aunt's favorite, and so this was just 100% fit, even though she never really mentioned it, but it was a song that was played a lot back in the day. And it's still quite popular actually in Germany. So then I included some roses and a little ladybird and a little blue tit that is representative for her love of nature. She used to always feed the birds, and it was always nice to see a blue tit come up and feed on her window, which was in the first floor. Not all birds come up to that height for some reason, and yeah, so I thought it went well in this color scheme, and there it stands for all the birds. It's not a bird that's particularly her favorite, but she did love ladybirds, and we always used to seek them when we went on walks, and it's just, a ladybird is something very small but lovely, and I think it stands for her in a way. So then on the last page I included the rose that I had printed in the newspaper announcement of her passing, and some details that I also put in the announcement, slightly varied from how we had it in there, and some details of the condolence address and the funeral service name. And also, since she was cremated and buried in the rose garden, any flowers that are laid down to commemorate, or well, that you feel you want to lay onto the place where she's resting, they will be removed instantly, almost. So I thought it was not really very economical to buy flowers that would be put on a heap with lots of other flowers, and nobody would know whom they belonged to. So I said we should give the money to the charity that she always supported in many years of her life, and that is to help underprivileged and sick children. So she loved children, and that's why I thought this would be a good idea, and I think everybody else thought so too. So this is my little leaflet. It's very unusual to do for a funeral service, but since she was such a person who was full of life and always happy to be living and grateful for what she had, she would have wanted us to commemorate all the good moments, and so this is why I thought I'd make this. So let me know if you like this kind of thing, and what you think, and I shall be back with another video soon. Please click like if you like the video, and leave me a note if you wish, and I would very much appreciate you following me for future videos. Of course, this is a very special one. I'm not going to make this again, hopefully, in a very long time. So let me know what you think, as I said, and thanks for watching and staying with me throughout this whole video, which is quite a long one. So thank you very much, and all the best to you. Take care of yourselves. Hugs and love. Bye.